message for Philani, I would love for it to be short, but I also do not have the TikTok version, so I apologize in advance. In my spirit, when I was battling this that has happened, a word came to my mind. It says Philani was an enigma, hard to understand and very hard to explain. Me and Comrade Philani served in the same SRC. We differed, did not see eye to eye on our leadership approach. My approach is direct, straight. We had a meeting, we took decisions, let's implement the strategy. Philani's approach was, let's have 7 other meetings outside the meeting to find out if everybody is comfortable with the decision. And we butted heads. I said, no. Comrade Philani, you can do that with all the other comrades except for my portfolio. There, I do not want you to be involved because of the manner in which you deal with things. But in latter years, I recognized that this inclusive kind of leadership is necessary. It really does have a place where you need to be inclusive of the collective when decisions are taken. And it is because the decisions that we took at that time were very volatile. We were preparing for the measure of institutions of higher learning. So things were continually difficult in our season of leadership. And yet we prevailed. We also differed because of religious and Christianity matters. Comrade Philani insisted that we start our meetings with a prayer and so on and so forth. We wanted to start it with a revolutionary song, let's fight. When do we fight? And in that, Philani was a great unifier. Comrade President was a persuasive person, a humble soul, and a dedicated humanitarian. Our SRC felt like we were part of an NGO, gift of the givers. That is what and how he did his things. Many loved him for his big heart, his selflessness, and he gave his all. His residency when we were in the SRC, when you go to look for him, it's packed to capacity. There's students everywhere. That is the kind of president and leader he was. And in the late night, he will then come and knock at my residence, Comrade Moni, say, well, what do you need? But I would see it in his stature that he is drained and tired. And I will allow him to stay in my place, which he called posh. And when he has eaten and relaxed, he will say to me, you know, Comrade Moni, you have a nice life. And I will reply and say, Comrade President, I don't understand your life, but I respect it. So he truly gave of himself to many. In our journey, in 2002, me and Comrade Philani, we went head-to-head campaigning for the presidency. This would be his second term, and this would be the first time our institution would have a female leader. I was clear, I'm the candidate. It would be one of the most difficult journeys as well, because it was the most fiercely contested SRC election of that year. The whole campus was on steroids, the atmosphere politically tense. There was violence breaking out everywhere. It was chaotic. It took us as candidates of presidency 4 hours to get through our manifesto. That is how tense and gruesome the altercations where security had to be deployed to calm things down. My ultimate objective was to demonstrate that a girl child is no less than the male counterpart, and so it went. I remember there was a caucus that said, a political caucus from TNG, TNW, that said, instruct that girl to campaign as a deputy president, and we will give it to her, but I refused. I went for the presidency nonetheless. But I think the most critical is what Comrade Philani would do that evening. He came over to my room and he said to me, I cannot sleep without seeing you and telling you this. And he said to me, I assure you of my respect as a leader. And in his personal style, assured me that regardless of the outcome, he considered me a sister and a friend. Then he would go on to say something profound to me, which sat with me through time. He said, Comrade Moni, today I did not have physical strength, and as time dragged on, I started to feel ill and very exhausted. But when I looked at you, you stood strong and firm, and it is from your posture that I survived today. I drew my strength from you, and I have remembered over time to keep this posture, Comrade President. I want to salute you, Comrade Philani, that you never hid that vulnerability from me, and that you opened up and shared with me this incredible lesson of fortitude and leadership. And for that, I salute you again. As I conclude, thank you, President Philani Hlatshwayo. We are deeply saddened by your passing. But as it is, in your own words, on Saturday the 19th at 7:59, you posted on your status, we can trust God's timing and plans, knowing that He knows what is best for us. And in your very own words, I say to you, farewell, obabulise abo Ramatlakwana wa Boikanyo, abo Peter Mashata, abe McCoy, obajele ukuthi we too are preparing to be on our way. Amandla! Comrade Tom Chiza, the flamboyant, the ever smart.
No, Comrade President, thank you very much. And in the same traditions that the program directors instructed us, I'll try by all means to stick to your 7 minutes, which is very rare for me to do that. And I think I will, for Umdeni, Hlatshwayo, not that, to the VC, Prof. Tinyiko Maluleke, to VC Ketran Luvu, to the, of course, and I should have started with council, but because the chair of council is not here, VC, you represent council. That's why you are a vice chancellor in that fashion. The former Technical Northwest SRC leadership in your eminence, the former president of SASCO, David Maimela, and convocants of SASCO, the former Technical Northern Gauteng and Technical Pretoria SRC's leadership in your eminence, the former and current TUT institutional SRC president and your team, TUT Harangua campus president and your team, president of NASDEV and your team, Dr. Gugule Tutaba, Dr. Dilotsotle, Comrade Sylvia, as I said earlier, Comrade Reginald Ditsele, the convocants of student leadership, convocants of student union South and East, former SAU, SRC, and SATSU. The now leadership under the stewardship of Comrade Ivan Fidel Ramhale, TUT convocation, the broader MDM structures, friends, mourners, I greet you. It is a privilege to be given a space to share a tribute to the life well lived. Comrade President Philani, the man of faith and character who epitomized what Amilcar Cabral coined when he said, always bear in mind that people are not fighting for ideas or for the things in anyone's head. They are fighting to win material benefits, to live better and in peace, to see the lives go forward, to guarantee the future of their children, end quote. President, you understood this calling from the early years in your life in COSAS, in SASCO, in NEHAU, in NASDEF, and live by this understanding that our people are fighting to win material benefits, and not sloganeering, in the journey interwoven in the love for our people. To love, to uplift the student life, to fight for social justice as a whole, and your journey can be traced to the later discussion on the size and shape of higher education, culminating into the merger of Institution of Higher Learning conference that resulted in the merger that you see today between TNG, TNW, Technical Pretoria, into a giant that today we call Tshwane University of Technology. Comrade President, Comrade Reginald Ditele, Comrade Sylvia, Comrade Tom Muchiza, and Comrade Khupelo Pasha, and of course the late Comrade Justice Mklongo, together with our leadership, collectively bore the hallmarks of being the trailblazer of what today, post 21 years, is an institution that will strive for excellence and epitomize innovation, in which, irrespective of location, the quality of education provided is the same, and commitments of academics are the same. Your footprints are visible for all to see. This journey was not as smooth as it is slopes and troughs that require those with strength to survive. When challenges confronted us, we never gave up. We remember well when we gathered somewhere in Mahalis pre-merger to deliberate on the logo and the motto of TUT. Mindful of the mandate from our different constituencies, we had to deal with those VC who wanted to use power of numbers as management to decide on us. And we reminded them behind us was thousands of students who we represent, and we can bus all of them to the same venue and pour soil to the tables of discussion. If we wanted to use numbers, we end up adjourning and allow consultation, and those who wanted the union building to appear in our logo were defeated. And those who wanted the logo of TUT to be a dome were defeated. We said we need to uplift the student and release them to the society because they cannot be coined inside the institution. Hence we call it, we empower our people. Oh, President, we vividly remember when you addressed the issue of fears among students during the transition from TNG, TNW, Pretoria Tech to TUT, and you said, there is, I quote, there is an issue that students are particularly concerned about, which needs to be addressed quickly. It's about identity and the fees of the university. And we are proud that you stayed within and ensured that that transition happened. And indeed, just like Cabral, you further sharply raised the contradictions at the times and said students are uncertain about the merger of three different institution culture. People have tendencies of saying the students of Technical Pretoria are better than those of the two institutions. These are the issues we still have to resolve. And you remain and internalize these contradictions of a differentiated approach because you believe to be a guardian to the emancipation of society. And today we celebrate what we call you walk the talk, Comrade President. To manage the contradiction as I move towards conclusion, the program director, you see politicians have got conclusion after conclusion, but you will forgive us. We agreed to propose a joint management team. That's why, Prof. Tinyeko, today you have an EMC that is able to manage easier because that was a product of a negotiated settlement. The JMC was to manage these contradictions. Oh, President, you have transitioned just like our Socrates said in Plato's Apology when he said, Ukufa is either a state of nothingness or a transition where the soul moves to another world. And there are few important words that we want to leave to everyone to understand. That nothingness, Ukufa is a state of unconsciousness and nothingness, which Socrates says will be a marvelous benefit because people will sleep dreamlessly, which we have done, Comrade President. And transition, Ukufa is in transition to where the soul moves to another realm, where it might find itself with other virtual souls. Socrates said, if the soul is transported to a place with good people, he will wish to die many times. And I know you, President, you will have wished to die many times. So, as we conclude, allow me to share the last moments of what we did, because just like all of them who have said before me, your prayers online, you had a prayer with the mother of my son who's in Bloemfontein, and when she was not well, you will continue to pray up until the last hours of the day when you demise. And that shows that irrespective of where you are, you understood the work that you need to do. Equally, Comrade President, when I chased in East London the delegates of yours from TNW to the sea because they decided to bring more numbers, you then said, Comrade President, there are better ways to deal with this matter. We should not have went that way. And that is the character that defines who you are. Comrades, the death of Philani serves as a powerful reminder of our collective life fragility, urging us as leaders in our rights to prioritize meaningful relationship and focus on creating a positive and a supportive environment for one another and our teams. Comrade Philani, as you ascend to the dimension, your demise is a gain to the immortality and loss to humanity. Pass greetings to Comrade Siphiwe Zuma, to Comrade President Claude Tavani, to Comrade Co-President Justice Mhlongo, to President Mandla Kamabuza, to Deputy President Wanga Sigila, to Comrade Tisha Vanga, to Comrade Tabi Ngokwani, to Comrade Babalan Tabini, and other comrades that are ascended before you, and tell them it's not yet Uhuru. In your faith, Comrade President, death for you is as a servant of God is in transition to being with the Lord rather than an end. This is a victory for you, my brother in Christ, as you freed from the mortal body and enter into the presence of God. Rest in peace. Rise in power, Comrade President Philani Patrick Hlatshwayo. To the entire family of Hlatshwayo, TUT, NASDEF, NEHAW, and MDM structures, and other formations which President left a mark, your loss is not yours alone, and as Pelelang without Philani. And be comforted with the following scripture from Apostle Paul, book of Ephesians 1, verse 18 to 19. I pray, and I quote, I pray also that the eyes of your heart may be enlightened, in order that you may know the hope to which he has called you, the riches of his glorious inheritance in the saints, and his incomparable great power for us to believe. Long live the spirit of Comrade Philani Hlatshwayo, long live. Amandla, Matimba, Manda, all powers. Thank you.
Kerela wenyamazan haina madlo nukushaya isibhamu. Hawu kerela wenyamazan haina madlo nukushaya isibhamu. Ayishaya ngepazo hawe nyamaza. Ayishaya nge-AK hawe nyamaza. Hawu kerela wenyamaza haina madlo nukushaya isibhamu. Kerela wenyamaza haina madlo nukushaya isibhamu. Ayishaya nge-AK hawe nyamaza. Awushaya ngepazoka hawe nyamaza. Hawu kerela wenyamaza haina madlo nukushaya isibhamu. Hawu kerela wenyamaza haina madlo nukushaya isibhamu. Awushaya ngepazoka hawe nyamaza. Awushaya nge-AK hawe nyamaza. Hawu kerela wenyamaza haina madlo nukushaya isibhamu. Hawu kerela wenyamaza haina madlo nukushaya isibhamu. Awushaya nge-AK hawe nyamaza. Awushaya ngepazoka hawe nyamaza. Hawu kerela wenyamaza haina madlo nukushaya isibhamu. Hawu kerela wenyamaza haina madlo nukushaya isibhamu. Awushaya nge-AK hawe nyamaza. Awushaya ngepazoka hawe nyamaza. Hawu kerela wenyamaza haina madlo nukushaya isibhamu. Hawu kerela wenyamaza haina madlo nukushaya isibhamu. Awushaya ngepazoka hawe nyamaza. Awushaya nge-AK hawe nyamaza. Hawu kerela wenyamaza haina madlo nukushaya isibhamu. Hawu kerela wenyamaza haina madlo nukushaya isibhamu. Awushaya nge-AK hawe nyamaza. Awushaya ngepazoka hawe nyamaza. Hawu kerela wenyamaza haina madlo nukushaya isibhamu. Hawu kerela wenyamaza haina madlo nukushaya isibhamu. Awushaya nge-AK hawe nyamaza. Awushaya ngepazoka hawe nyamaza. Hawu kerela wenyamaza haina madlo nukushaya isibhamu. Hawu kerela wenyamaza haina madlo nukushaya isibhamu. Awushaya nge-AK hawe nyamaza. Awushaya ngepazoka hawe nyamaza. Amandla awethu. Long live now, long live. Long live now, long live. Long live the spirit of Comrade Philani, long live. Matla, Yarona. uPhilani bekakhona sisemzabalazweni. uPhilani beyekhona sisemzabalazweni. Emzabalazweni, 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 wawulani bekakhona sisemzabalazweni babekuphi laba bantu sisemzabalazweni emzabalazweni 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 uPhilani beyakhona sisemzabalazweni uPhilani wayekhona sisemzabalazweni emzabalazweni 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 babekuphi laba bantu sisemzabalazweni babekuphi laba bantu sisemzabalazweni emzabalazweni emzabalazweni
Amandla. This is part of the speech. We are almost done.
Uheri kwala Uyeri kwali soja lomkhonto Uyeri kwala uthemba kwala Uyeri kwala wasemitlenze Ngobuthe sibadifaye Ngoba wena ozosilwela Ngobuthe sibadifaye Ngoba wena ozosifenda Uyeri kwala wasemitlenze Uyeri kwala uthemba kwala Uyeri kwala wasemitlenze Ngobuthe sibadifaye Ngoba wena ozosifenda Ngobuthe sibadifaye Ngoba wena ozosilwela Mandla awethu long live the undying spirit of Comrade Philani, long live. Forward with the victories of the working class, forward. No, thank you very much. So we're not defying you, program director, we must say. So it's not a defiance. Let's start by greeting the family of Hlatshwayo and all of ourselves in the room in the mighty name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. We must also take this opportunity to really thank God for really appointing you, abantu baka Hlatshwayo, to give birth to Comrade Philani. You are very fortunate. Many families would wish to have the opportunity that you were granted by God. Because indeed you managed to produce a very important force in society. You have not produced a nobody. And I must say this, not that other families produces nobodies. So you do not produce a nobody. And program director, allow us to speak about Philani and his broader contribution across the political environment where he drove indeed such immense impact for all of ourselves. I am Ivan Ramukhal. I'm the regional chairperson of Nehau. Comrades who are behind us and many others who are seated. Indeed, we come from a union called the National Education, Health and Allied Workers Union, Nehau. We want to speak about Comrade Philani. So Comrade Tom spoke about all the protocols. I will not go there. I will say protocol observed. He also spoke about a code of America Cabral that says always bear in mind. And let me start where I wanted to end. The Vice Chancellor of the University. So where I would have wanted to end, Vice Chancellor, is that our workers in TUT, they are being owed salary increases. So we wanted to start there. Negotiations in TUT, they normally start around October. And by January of each year, workers deserve salary increases, so that their English does not deplete. So siyacela Vice Chancellor, sicela le mali yethu siyokwazi sothenga i-airtime nedata isheshe ingapheli le English. That is the message. The one thing that we have as a trade union movement is only the unity of our own membership and our class. We think we are not there as yet with the university to display and project that unity. And we can only express it in one way, which is to go on a protest. Sisafuna ukwakha ubuhlobo nawe Vice Chancellor. Sizokwazi sikhulume le English kulama boardroom. Sicela imali yabasebenzi. We'll stop there. There are 4 things that we must learn about Comrade Philani. I'm sure there are many people who are going to speak a lot here about his passion, his humility, his kindness and dedication. So Comrade Philani, we are told he was a long-serving Nehau shop steward in TUT. He deputized Comrade Gugu Kaba there as a branch deputy secretary. He also deputized Comrade Thabo Philani, our former regional treasurer. And Comrade Gugu used to be the regional chair of Nehau in Swan. He was the bargaining coordinator of the union. Most importantly, he became the first year student to be an RC member at Technical Northwest between 2001 and 2002. He became the SRC president in 2003 and 2004. He served SASCO NEC between 2003 and 4 and 2004 and 5. He served in TUT Council in 2004 and 2005. He was the former Deputy Secretary General of NASDEF, and as he departs, he was the Deputy President of that structure. So the upcoming and future leaders ought to learn from Comrade Philani. As a leader, even as you lead people, you must be humble as a leader. Comrade Philani did not jump the steps. He also served in COSAS. He was in SASCO. When he became a worker, he was in Nehau. Now, some of our comrades, they want to jump steps. Uyombona umuntu ukuthi yabona lo ujumpa ama steps makafika ku Nehau. Angumsebenzi manje. You realize that this comrade of ours has jumped ama steps. Comrades must remain humble when they are given a leadership responsibility. He was a shop steward of Nehau, by the way, here. Okay, before we demerged and merged the branch here. He was a shop steward. his contribution was a thorough understanding of an organization. So he lives here having been an ANC branch treasurer. So he knew that his contribution does not only end with student struggles, he joined how to further the working class struggle. Outside the workplace, he was an active member of the African National Congress. Let me read a quote by Pope Francis here. Chair, I'm closing. Pope Francis says, "Rivers do not drink their own water. Trees do not eat their own fruit. The sun does not shine on itself, and flowers do not spread their fragrance for themselves. Living for others is a rule of nature. We are all born to help each other. No matter how difficult it is, life is good when you are happy, but much better when others are happy because of you." So this was to learn. So when you are a person, don't just live for the sake of having something to breathe in and out. You ought to live for something. And Comrade Philani lived for something. He made others happy because of his own contribution. So let's continue, comrades, to celebrate the life of Comrade Philani. So tlangana eMelo eMpumalanga on the Workers' Day. So when other people will be in different points of the country, sina sisoba sise eMelo. Mhlaka 1 May. Comrade VC and the family, we must also appreciate at least having experienced Comrade Philani as we also experienced. Indeed, in his remembrance, Comrade VC, myself and the Regional Secretary, Comrade Zolani here, in his remembrance, we hope that these salary negotiations will be concluded by at least the end of the month. So that when he rests in peace, imali yakhe ingene ku-account, i-assist abantwana bakhe. He can't rest in peace if you owe us. We are pleading. Mhlambe sizawuthi masibuye eMelo imali yakhe ingenile nayo. Family, we share your loss. We'll continue to remember this name of Comrade Philani, and we'll do everything in our power as the union, including the leadership of the branch led by Comrade Njabulo and Comrade Maredi as the secretary, to commemorate the life of our own fallen hero. Mandla, long live to the undying spirit of Comrade Philani, long live. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Nehau, for occupying your space in this important gathering. If anything, history has got no blank pages, and where Comrade Philani has passed, history has made its records. Batle babui babereki ba re he mitwembe what. We know one thing though, that Comrade Philani was never one of those. He was never Mdwembe. He stood with the workers, for the workers at all times. A small alteration to the program, may I quickly ask Mr. Lucky Masuku of the G15 to please ascend to the stage for his tribute. Dr. Masuku, if you may quickly come as they give a song, and the TUT choir, please get ready to render an item immediately afterwards. It's fine, that song can somewhere be paused because he's here. So we'll give over to Ntate Masuku.
Okay. Thank you so much, program directors, the family and friends of Comrade Philani, Vice Chancellor of our beloved university, Professor Malulega, the Council Chair in absentia, the Dean of the Economic and Finance, my beloved lecturer, Professor Pauli Mashiho, the SRC President, the couple of presidents of SASCO that I've seen here, and also the leadership of the student formation in generally. Dumelang. The student movement, the working class, and the broad progressive forces have lost a giant, a warrior who carried the ideal of justice, the equality, the service of the people, the service to the people in space he occupied. The late Comrade Philani Hlatshwayo was a student representative, was a Marxist and Leninist student. He leaves behind a powerful legacy that is entrenched to the heart of all who walked in the path of the struggle with him. Born in MLO, politically nurtured in the street of Guatemala, his leadership journey began as a passionate leader of the causes, where his fire for change was ignited. From there, he went to serve in the ANC Youth League in MLO, a town he helped to turn into the hive of youth political consciousness. His path was marked not by titles, but by unwavering commitment. As the national member of the South African Student Congress, he became a voice of students across South Africa, a voice that refused to be silenced by inequality, exclusion, injustices. In spaces where others hesitated, he spoke boldly. In times where others waved, he stood firm. As a staunch member of our beloved union, Nehau, he served as a shop steward, advocating not only for the student right, but also for the rights of the workers. Recognizing the liberation of the student, recognizing that the student of liberation of student cannot be divorced from the emancipation of the workers. His ideology was strongly rooted in the belief that education must be a right, not a privilege. That institution must be democratic spaces, not factories for elitism. At TUT, he did more than to lead. He made history. He was the founder of the interim TUT SRC, which was well known by G15, laying the foundation for the student governance that truly represented the will and the needs of the student body. Under his leadership, the SRC became not just an administrative body, but a shield for the voiceless and a spear for justice. He championed the student right, the academic access, spiritually and mental health support, and institutional transformation. Beyond the slogan and the student struggles, he was a man of deep faith, a devoted Christian who never saw a contradiction in faith and activism. He believed justice and compassion were two sides of the same coin. He often reminded those close to him that the service to the people is the highest calling. His passing is tragic